I'm gay, comma, not queer, period. It matters, period.
Correct.
How do you think that went over? He says, it becomes an open door which almost anyone can walk through. Polyamorous, question mark, queer. Vaguely uncomfortable with gender expectations, possibly queer too. I'm going to say this as kindly as possible. Shut the absolute up. The difference, referring to the difference between gay and queer, does not matter a lick to those who would readily put you on a train and send you to a camp. Hey everybody, welcome back to Normal Gays, where we take on insanity. I'm Brad, here with Clarkson.
What's up, guys? Before we get started, we're doing a deep dive on our newest favorite TikTok beggar, who I have no idea.
And is teaming up with Chin Hair, Leona.
With Chin Hair, Chinny Chin, yeah. What are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to talk about the super normal, not at all unhinged online reaction to an article that was published in the New York Times.
I thought it was going to be about Lindsey Graham.
No.
That was an intro about Lindsey Graham for sure, but okay.
No, I mean, that one, I don't really like to speak ill of the dead, but I also don't have very many nice things to say about Lindsey Graham.
Yeah,
so I
we're
prefer to say
quiet.
nothing at all.
Yes.
And just,
yeah.
bless.
I think that's a good idea.
Anyway.
Although, no, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, probably best to not.
Yeah, let's not.
So here's the headline in the New York Times article, and then you let me know how you think this went over. I'm gay, comma, not queer, period. It matters, period.
Correct.
How do you think that went over?
Well, New York Times, I'm just surprised they even allowed somebody to write that. Is it a hit piece on this person who says they're gay?
No, it's an op-ed written by this person.
Oh.
Making the argument that gay is real and queer is not.
The tide is turning.
It's a vibe shift, baby.
Yeah. If this was in 2020, the New York Times would have been protesting.
Oh my God, they would have been tweeting this. The staffers would have been, the union would be tweeting, this article puts gay lives in danger.
Yeah, they would have been burned down in a BLM riot.
Do you remember that they did that? You probably don't know about this because this is like inside baseball media drama. The New York Times published an op-ed by Senator Tom Cotton titled "Send in the Troops," and it was about invoking the Insurrection Act to send in the military for the BLM riots.
Yeah,
and the New York Times staff freaked out, started publicly tweeting, publishing this article puts Black lives in danger, Black staff in danger. And they actually caused a huge uproar inside the paper that got multiple people pushed out of the opinion section that were involved in publishing it. Meanwhile, it was a thing that, like, if you polled, like 40% of Black people agreed with
it. 2020 was a fever dream. It's like a melatonin dream. Or an Ambien, whatever you choose. I don't know.
But for this one, I'll just kind of summarize the point. But he basically talks about how the fight for marriage equality was won with, for lack of better words, the like born this way argument. That
Correct.
Being gay is something beyond your control. And so gay
like
people
you.
are the way they are. We're just like you.
Yeah.
We're not subversive. We're not, trying to tear down all of society.
We're normal.
But like not like us where we're ironically normal gays. Like actually kind of normal gays.
Yeah.
And then he said, but that message is being undermined by, quote, those who argue that same-sex orientation is better thought of as a part of a wider rebellion against social norms. He says this worldview is best expressed in one word, queer, which is often used interchangeably with gay these days, but the words don't mean the same thing.
Correct.
Because he makes 2 points about this. One is that queer is so vague and empty and like there's no barriers around it. That
it doesn't actually mean anything. Or it can mean something that being gay doesn't mean and conflicts with gay people's interests, which is what's happening.
But so he says, it becomes an open door which almost anyone can walk through. Polyamorous, question mark, queer. Vaguely uncomfortable with gender expectations, possibly queer too.
This reminds me of the girl that we reacted to literally last week on Caleb Hammer.
Oh, yeah, where she's like,
the they, them.
I'm non-binary, by the way.
Yeah, she was like, well, in queer lives. I'm like, bitch, shut up, you straight woman.
Well, we don't know, actually, if she dates men or women.
Yeah, but I'm just going to assume we kind of doubt straight.
That. Yeah. But what he says is that this elasticity of the queer term, by the way, this involves Jeffrey Marsh.
Yay!
He raged about this article.
Yay, okay, cool.
Because it's so amorphous and can mean anything, it allowed a lot of people to grab onto this label who really don't have anything particularly intrinsically gay about them.
That we say every week.
Right. And then here's what he says. being gay, quote, being gay begins to look less like an inborn trait and more like a chosen ideology or aesthetic. And so then he says that, quote, that undermines a core premise behind gay rights, that sexual orientation isn't chosen, and polling suggests that premise is being weakened. The share of Americans who believe people are born gay has declined over the past decade. And then he says, in a time of backlash, this is not a confusion gay people can afford, especially of those who live in red states and religious communities. Now, I don't actually believe people are, it's not as simple as born gay, but that's like
It's
a
not.
proxy
Yeah.
for it being an immutable characteristic.
Yeah, or something that can't be controlled.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then the other aspect is that he also connects queer to queer theory and it being like a subversive thing that's about tearing down institutions and norms.
Yep.
Rather than like gay marriage was like, we want to blend in and assimilate to social norms.
To them. Yeah.
Queer is like, literally, if you look at the roots of the word in queer theory being reclaimed, is supposed to be socially subversive to patriarchy, to capitalism, to everything. But so it's like an interesting article. This guy is not like some fascist or anything.
He's not rage baiting like us.
Imagine how they'd feel if they let us write an article.
That's what I'm saying.
We're normal gays. Non-binary is not real.
Non-binary is not valid at all. But that's basically what he said in fancier terms. I mean, uncomfortable with gender, queer. That's him saying non-binary, not real. Not real.
You're eating.
Not
you're
real.
Eating. But here are some tweets that he's been received, because I know this guy a little bit, Matthew Vines, and I've been following him. The backlash he's been getting.
You should watch Normal Gays.
He might. Who knows? Maybe he's a secret watcher.
He might be.
But he does like religious. His focus is more on religious stuff, and he like advocates for same-sex acceptance in Christianity.
Oh, okay.
And that's more his space. Anyway, some of these tweets are crazy. Matthew, I'm going to say this as kindly as possible. Shut the absolute up. You up with that article. You did harm with that article. Shut the up and never speak on behalf of gay people ever again. I'm not sure he did say it as kindly as possible.
Why? I don't understand how anyone can read that article and assume that it is hurtful to gay people.
You're throwing queer people under the bus.
Yeah, but queer people aren't gay. So never speak on, did he say never speak on queer people or never speak on gay people?
Gay people.
That doesn't make any sense because he's only speaking on gay people. That's the point.
Next one is F you, Vichy gay worker. Do you know what Vichy is? Probably.
Wait.
But if Vichy is like a
Vichy gay. Oh, I'm gonna call my boyfriend.
Isn't that like
tonight.
A Nazi reference? Like, were Vichy's like Nazi collaborators or something?
You're asking the wrong person. I think you're fully aware of that. I don't know, but I'm gonna use it. That's gonna be added to my lexicon.
I like this next one. No one's imposing queer onto all gay people. You dumb.
Yes, yes, they are, because if anything is queer, then that's exactly what they're doing.
I guess this person's point is like, well, no one's making you call yourself queer, but that's not what he said.
But you're saying that being gay is queer.
And
so in a way, you are making me call myself queer because your set of ideas.
And that it's all one.
Yeah,
under LGBTQ.
Your set of ideas assume that my sexuality is queer.
Right.
Vichy is a reference to the French government in World War II who collaborated with the Nazis. So
so I was
collaboration
again
with the bad guys.
You were the only one providing an option. Yeah, you were right. But I fully, I know I don't know something, I'd take a step back and say, I don't know it.
I've been called a Vichy gay before. Back in the days where they used to like
Vichy gay?
Vichy is what the Nazi collaborator thing.
I'm going to say that so much
Back in the days where I used to get threatened to not show my face in DC gay bars because I called Gay Leather Weekend degenerate in an article, and they were big mad.
I miss those days when I was hated by all the gays, but I went out.
It is kind of fun.
I went to the bars.
But you've been hated on over the muscle gay tweets.
Yeah, but like I went out to the club last night and like 5 muscle gays stopped me and was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your content."
You're standing up for our community.
No, they literally are like, "I love your content." Blah blah blah.
Because you just talk about like eye crust.
Yeah,
and his stupid
that's what I'm saying. So
I have another video from him later.
Oh god.
Somebody posted a comment about him.
I think we're gonna make him more famous. We're making him become something.
All right, but like anything is greater than 0. So if we give him even 1% spotlight, that's more than he ever had. Though some of his videos do get views.
Yeah.
Now, here's my favorite tweet. Dear Matthew Vines, who's the article author, I can guarantee you the difference, referring to the difference between gay and queer, does not matter a lick to those who would readily put you on a train and send you to a camp.
Yes, it does. The whole purpose is to convince those people who hold those bigoted views that we shouldn't get put on trains.
Well, I think it's probably true that the 1% most crazy diehards are never going to accept that, oh, gay people are different than these radical queers.
Right.
But the point is all the middle that has to agree with them for them to have any power.
Correct.
But he shared that post and he said this kind of sums up the feedback he's gotten.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just the dam that what's the saying? The straw that breaks the camel's back. I feel like we're going to start seeing more and more of this, and it's just going to have to become mainstream. So right now it's not yet.
But I fear he's lost Jeffrey Marsh.
Jeffrey Marsh is lost in his own world of delusion and psychosis, and in a Walgreens in 2001 makeup section, or maybe a Claire's.
He really does wear the makeup that you give your 11-year-old girl when she wants to play
makeup.
dress up.
Correct. He's been on social media for how long? 10
15 years.
And you haven't learned how to contour or to do a smoky eye. I mean, at least catch up to 2015 when smoky eyes were a thing, but he's still just doing the 2000s liner.
I mean, he needs to watch a James Charles tutorial.
That's what I'm saying. Both predators,
James
but
Charles
at least James Charles knows how to do a contour.
They could bond.
I'm just kidding. That's allegedly.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to watch his video about this.
Let's talk about that op-ed. Not a shock that it would be in the New York Times. Do not blame the most abused for the actions of the abuser. Do not be the good kid in the middle, blaming the marginalized for the existence of the bully.
Oh my God.
Do not do the bully's work for them. Turn around. I almost said turn the F around. Turn around and help us dismantle the bully's power. Isn't that the compassionate, gorgeous, beautiful human invitation?
What? What?
Do you understand what he's trying to say?
Yeah, I get what he's trying to say. I just am confused on why everybody wants to appropriate the actual trauma of gay people getting bullied by actually bigoted people.
Yeah, the abuse language is a bit much.
What's actually happening is somebody could be getting bullied, and then somebody else comes in who wants to pretend like they're being bullied and then just comes up and tries to claim that status and pretend to be the victim. That's what's happening with queer, because it's half these people are straight anyways.
Well, and it's imagine you had a religion that was unfairly stigmatized for a long time, and then it was accepted and people started leaving you alone and not bullying you. Mm-hmm. And then some new converts joined your religion and started adding crazy new ideas. And then people started hating your religion again.
Yeah.
And then you were mad about those people who converted and made your religion crazy again. And they're don't blame the abuse victim.
Right.
No, I will actually.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna call these people bullies because you guys are claiming that you can be non-binary. I don't think that's
just that.
It's not just that. No.
These people defend the policies that put biological male offenders in women's prisons.
Yeah.
In California. Right? Yeah. They're defending 10-year-olds sterilizing their bodies with unproven treatments. And then they're well, if you point out that radicalism is what caused some of this backlash, you're victim blaming, or we're holding you accountable.
But then in the same breath, if you oppose any idea that comes from them, then you're against any idea that comes from the alphabet, then you're against everyone. So if you oppose one thing like women's prisons, then immediately they're going to be you just hate gay people. And it's you don't really give people any options for nuance when they have to agree with everything that you put out. And then the minute they disagree with it, they're now the enemy and the bully.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense.
But I feel and I think that this can be cringe. They're oh, people are just mad at me because I'm over the target or hit dog hollers. But with Jeffrey Marsh specifically, if you have a take and he's against it, it's probably the correct take.
I have never seen a Jeffrey Marsh video that I've said, that's reasonable.
Literally never. And honestly, with almost any creator, even the crazies we react to, I have probably seen something
Even
from them I agree
iCrust,
with.
like one of his videos came up that had nothing to do with his racism, and I was like,
no, I've had one or two from him
and I was
that
like,
weren't
okay,
awful.
that's not terrible. Like, I see you. You have some form of common sense in there if you get rid of the racism, but
And if you stop saying girl,
and girl, be so for real. Oh God. Okay. Well,
I think that's all we got to say about that, but I thought it was an interesting little meltdown that's happened.
of course, Jeffrey Marsh.
But
is
it tells
on
you something interesting about the
Do you
times
think
that
Jeffrey
they even
has
published
like
this, don't you?
what's it called? A Google like alert for the word queer or something?
I think there should be a different kind of alert set up for Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, Mr. Producer, I think it's comments time.
First one is Clark's dad, MTV, bands. What bands? The rest of the story?
I don't remember his
Oh,
band's
I'll
name.
explain. So you don't have to remember the name, but what they're asking is, you briefly mentioned this in our members only video doing your deep dive about your feud with Roger, aka Aslan Bird.
Yes.
And you were like, "This is my thing. I'm going to show my kids one day." Like my
feud
band.
with a homeless person. It's just like when you really
put it like that, it sounds
it
bad.
sounds so bad. But she
that
wasn't.
time that I cyberbullied
I
mentally ill
offered charity.
I don't think that's accurate.
offered charity to a homeless person. Thank you very much.
Okay, but you did at the end of the video throw in, "This is not meant to intended or harass, just to trick the AI."
Yeah,
he
because
engaged in a conversation.
I don't actually think he bullied her.
Anyways, what? Like my dad being in a band that was on
MTV. Yeah, what's the story
MTV
there?
used to show music videos of like a bunch of bands. Like it was literally music video television.
Yeah.
So his band just was highlighted on it.
Oh.
He's a drummer.
But so does that mean they had like a popular record or no?
I don't think so.
They just played small records and stuff.
I don't really know.
Okay.
But I feel like if it was popular, I would have had more money. So probably not.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Next one is, there's no way in hell I just got my food out of the air fryer and you all started playing the Scat Guy update.
Oh my God.
That's referring to our voicemail episode we did just for the members, where we got a voicemail from somebody who discovered his boyfriend's had on his phone.
Eat my Y'all seen that movie?
Imagery. No.
You haven't seen The Help?
Then he sent an update about the relationship fallout, and we were gagged as well.
So become a member so you can hear the whole story.
Definitely do. But people really do be watching our videos while they're eating meals.
I mean, that's how I watch
That's how I watch YouTube.
But we talk about so much disgusting stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine you're eating and Lily Tino pops up. Or
I
Jeffrey Marsh.
I have a pretty strong stomach when I'm hungry. But the only thing that really made my stomach turn that we have talked about was seeing iCrust's butthole.
Speaking of iCrust.
Oh, we did see him.
The next comment is just a suggestion, but does iCrust have OF? Because that would be hilarious.
I don't want to know.
He probably, if he's posting whole on Twitter for free.
I don't think he's a capitalist enough.
Is he just not smart enough to have
behind
OF?
the paywall? I think he just wants the attention for free.
Imagine posting whole on X for free.
That's crazy. That's actually insane because anybody could make money on OF. Even iCrust, and I hate saying that, but
there's probably some white gays that would sign up just to be like
racially
abused.
Like people who want to,
Just tell me I'm racist,
tell me
girl.
I'm a bigot, yeah. Be so fucking real.
No, I'm sorry. We will watch Lily Tito's OF for members for revenue.
Because Lily is so extravagantly
but we will
gross
not cross that line into iCrust.
Lily's OF is like watching Fear Factor. Whereas iCrust would just be genuinely disgusting.
Well, because I actually agree with you. It's that Lily is like so extreme. It's like watching a rare video on TV.
Yeah.
Like, a nature documentary
like Nature's
about
Metal. Have you seen Nature's Metal, that Instagram account where it's like animals like eating each other and shit, because it's trying to show what nature is actually about.
Is like adjacent to what a real human would look like and be.
Yeah.
So it would be gross.
It would just be simply disgusting.
You guys are so wild about him.
Not to casually dehumanize this guy, but
it's not dehumanizing.
I did just say he's adjacent to what a human would be.
Well,
Come on, guys.
is that dehumanizing?
Sorry, that's a bit much.
I don't think
Retract.
so.
All right, he posts his whole flexing on Twitter for free, so he's dehumanizing
The
himself.
flex
Okay,
is crazy.
he's literally showing the flex
Stop
and
it.
zooming in the
Okay,
camera.
this is a public video.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear
Oh
about
my God,
this.
sorry.
Okay, next one is speaking
Doing
of
Kegels.
Literally.
speaking of finances, Normal Gaze is under the quote essential subscriptions tab in my budgeting
Not
Oh,
you
spreadsheet.
hell yeah.
gaslighting your accountant.
It's essential.
You
Go
could
on, Caleb.
probably write it off on your taxes if you're a creator.
You can.
If you use our content for reaction video.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's for
Sure.
a business,
Yeah.
you could.
But you'd be going on Caleb Hammer, you'd be like, "What are all these subscriptions? Normal Gaze? What is this?"
Yeah.
And they,
Kind of. At this point.
well, no, they just react to it and
Yeah.
talk about scat.
At this point, it might have to go to
But,
18 and up.
No, what was I going to say though? Oh, they'd be like, "Oh no, that's an essential subscription."
It is essential.
It is. You know what?
Essential.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. Ooh,
All
that's
right.
from
Next
Parks and
one's
Rec.
for Clarkson. Clarkson, where do you get your clothes? I'm a huge fan of your style.
Well, I don't get them all at one place, so this is going to be a hard question to answer. Gymshark, Lululemon, Young LA, State and Liberty for like the button downs, and then Instagram ads.
Instagram ads, really? You
They
be
get me.
falling for that?
They
Wow.
get me. I just ordered $120 worth of underwear from an Instagram ad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They
Wow,
get
they
me.
really got you.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. We're about to cross 60,000 subscribers.
Yeah, they went up like yesterday. They were going up kind of quickly, and I was like,
We did another
Lily
Lily Tino video.
me.
It's literally just that.
Oh my
That's
god.
the only thing that
That's the only
changed.
thing we're good for.
But then people comment on it like, "I just discovered you guys, love you," and then hopefully they'll stay.
Yeah.
So we should just like, I don't know,
We've
spurt.
become a Lily Tino fan page, and it really is making
It is
it hard.
fan behavior.
It's
If
making
she
it
ever
hard to
wanted
sleep at night. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh please!
It is.
Really, you feel more degraded by this than your OF?
I don't have an OF What are you talking about?
Anymore.
I never have.
You know what I'm saying though. Reacting to Lily Tino over and over again is more degrading than that.
Correct.
Oh my god!
I would much rather capitalize off of my beautiful, or what people say is a beautiful body, and then
Not
be a,
the what people
be,
say.
than be a fan
People
of
are
Lily
saying.
Tino.
Girl, be so for real.
Oh God. All
Okay,
right.
become a channel member, support us, go rate and review on Spotify and Apple, the show as well. Like, subscribe, all of that, and we'll be back with more real soon.